I'm back. I'm so happy to be back. I'm so happy to be back with you. I'm so happy to be back in general. It was amazing. England was amazing. Alaska was amazing. It was just an incredible opportunity with all of this travel that just sort of took, like, just came together all at the same time. And I am so happy to be home. I'm so happy to be catching up on things. And I'm so happy to be back with you on our Monday. So, yay! So we are in this time of the waxing moon. So we're not quite to the full moon yet. Let me see. I should have checked before I came on. The full moon is on Thursday. So not too far off. We are almost there. So make sure, because I know we haven't really talked in a little bit, let's make sure that you are clear about what it is that you are trying to create in this current time of your life. And I really do want to talk about this week, and I want to talk about into this next couple of weeks with the moon cycle. So right now we're coming into the full moon. This third week of May, a lot of astrologers have been talking about as the week of expansion. So I'm really excited to talk to you about that, because people talk a lot about being, I'm ready, I'm manifesting, I'm creating. Please excuse me, I'm still coughing from traveling, but I'm creating, I'm getting ready, I'm fixing to get started, I'm this and that and the other thing, and we're not putting the pedal to the metal, we're not putting the pen to the paper, we're not whatever. And so my whole thing since I got back, so we got back late Tuesday night, last week was a little bit about family. We ended up with a bunch of clients, which is really exciting. This is the universe right now is trying to show you what's possible. And I was listening to this amazing podcast with Carol Burnett, who talks about how she was blessed with the universe just popping into her life in miraculous ways, that she wanted to attend college, and there wasn't enough money to pay for the college tuition. It was like $45, and their rent for the month, okay, in Los Angeles was $35 a month, but the college tuition was going to be $45. And so somebody secretly, to this day she still doesn't know, Carol Burnett's in her 90s, secretly sent $50 to Carol, and she paid for the college, and she still doesn't know who that was. She went to the college, and she was going to be a journalism major, and there was not a journalism school. So, but there were journalism classes, and if you were going to be in the journalism classes, then you had to take an English class, you had to take an acting class. And so, hi, and so she starts taking this acting class, and because she was taking the acting class, which was not her plan, but because she took the acting class, she was in plays, and because they were in plays, somebody saw her, and then she was at some event, and a gentleman came to her and said, what do you want to do? And she said, well, I really want to go to New York and be an actress. And he's like, well, why don't you do it? She's like, well, I can't afford it. And he said, okay, come in my office. And so she came in his office the next week, her and another kid, and he offered them each $10,000 or $1,000. That the deal was, it was a loan that he had to pay back in 5 years, no interest, but they could never ever reveal who it was that had done it. And so he gave her $1,000, and she went to New York, and she got into plays, and then she got her huge break in Once Upon a Mattress, which is a very famous Broadway musical. It's actually is coming back to Broadway now, actually. It's very famous, and that was her big break. But that these things just happened. They just happened for her. I'm sorry, when you go from Florida to England to Alaska, it does really wackadoodle things with your sinuses. So these things that she didn't court them, they just happened, and she was able to capitalize on them because she was open to the universe. One of the things, now I recently had the opportunity of being interviewed for a local magazine here in Central Florida, and I'm so honored to have been included, and I'm looking forward to all of that. But one of the questions that they asked me is, what do you feel like is most important for people who are starting on a spiritual journey. And one of the things that I said was, I feel like it's really important that we are listening, and we talk a lot about that a lot here, right? About listening, and we see the signs, and are we paying attention to the signs, or are we just brushing them off as synchronicity or coincidence, and we're just going, oh, isn't that cute? And we keep going on our day, right? So what is the universe, what is the signs that are trying to be shared with us? That's one. So that paying attention, that listening, and then I've been fine all day. The other piece was, are you willing to follow where you're being led? Okay? Are you willing to follow where you're being led? Okay? When we have a calling on our heart, we have a calling. There's something inside of us that we want to bring out. Okay? That's something that comes from our soul, maybe comes from God. It comes from inside of us. But to be willing to follow where we're being led, that is coming from outside of us. And that can be a very scary thing. So imagine if Carol Burnett had said to this guy, well, that's $1,000. I mean, thanks. And I'm a little bit too scared to go to New York, right? Because she was really scared and lonely, and her family wanted her to come home. And with the $50, imagine if she would have taken the $50 and said, oh, I'm going to use this to help my family. So she was willing to follow where she was being led. She put out in the universe and said, this is where I want to go. And the universe said, okay, we're going to help you. And then for her to be willing is the big word. It is scary. It's totally scary, but it's totally worth it. I mean, I went to England, and my newsletter this month, and if you're not on my newsletter, please make sure you send me your email address. Don't put it in the chat. But if you're not on my newsletter list, please make sure you message me your email address. My newsletter this month is about what it took for me to get on this plane to go to England, because a lot of people don't know, but in 1989, 88, I was in a plane crash. In a plane that was going to England. So it's taken more than 30 years to get me on a plane to go back to England. So it's terrifying, but it's definitely worth it, totally worth it. And one of the things I'm going to talk about in my newsletter is, there's a part of me that's like, oh my God, I can't believe it took me so long. Except, on the other hand, I know it took me exactly the right amount of time. Because it's so easy for us to jump on ourselves and be like, oh my God, I can't believe what it could have been. Woulda, coulda, shoulda is a total waste of time. So knowing that where we are is exactly where we're supposed to be if we're willing to listen. Because when it came time to this time, the signs were there. Everything was like, this is the right time for you to go. And I went, oh, this is the right time for me to go. So being willing to follow where you are being led. Okay, so let me bring that back around, because here we are in this third week of May. Happy 28th anniversary to my husband yesterday, so who made sure that I got on the plane to go to England. He's such a sweetie pie. And then this third week of May, because we're going to hit the full moon on Thursday, and then we're going to have this energy start to come down. So this week leading into Memorial Day is a week of expansion. It is a week of all those woulda, coulda, shouldas, all of those gee, I really wish I could moments, these opportunities where we've said, I am manifesting, I am welcoming in, I am calling it in, then we don't act on it. This is the week where, my son and I were watching the original Transformers movie last night. And, he gets in the yellow car, the bumblebee car, and the car, vroom, 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 and the car is doing it by itself. And he's in the car going, I better hang on tight because the car is doing it by itself. So this week, the car is doing it by itself. This week, the car is doing it by itself. This is the week we've got to be like, hold on for the ride, because stuff is going to fall into your lap this week, and you must decide if you are willing to follow where you are being led. And that is a leap of faith. It is scary, but as Kimmy so wisely says, it is 100% definitely worth it. So this is what's going on that I want to really make sure you're aware of, because if you have been seeing some synchronicities or some signs, or you have been feeling like frustration because what you've been trying to manifest hasn't been coming to fruition because you have not been willing to put your foot anywhere near the gas pedal, just be ready, because all the astrologers are talking about how this is the week, this third week of May, this is the week of manifestation, this is the week where the car is doing it by itself. So be in it. Be in the car. Be in it. Be in with your intentions. Be in with your heart's desire. Be in so that when the car goes vroom, you are holding all the things you need to take with you. So pack your tote bag right now so that you have everything you need with you when the car goes vroom. Because this is the week where the car's going to go vroom. And I'm already seeing it in myself. I mean, I'm seeing, now, don't misunderstand, that doesn't mean there's not going to be hiccups, because there will. And I don't buy into that whole thing, oh, the universe is testing you to see how much you want it, or Satan is testing you to see if they can, divert you or see how much I don't buy into any of that, okay? I believe that the wheels and the cogs of the universe are turning, and sometimes that means that this thing is going to show up at an inconvenient time. Is it something negative? Maybe, maybe not. It could just be hard to tell in the current moment, right? We need some distance. We need some hindsight. But when we look at these things and these speed bumps come up, when we are ready with our foot on the gas, it's a speed bump. It's not a mountain. And this is the thing. If you are in the parked car, or you're not even in the car yet, and the speed bump comes up, then getting the car up to speed to get over the bump, if you had to push the car, it would be hard. But if you are in the car and the car is on and your foot is on the gas, then getting over a speed bump is easy, okay? Be willing to fight for what you want, but that means we've got to be in the car. If we are at a dead stop and opportunity knocks, then we are like, oh my God, I have to create, I have to do all these things, I have to, we're not ready. So what can you do to be ready so that when the car starts to move, you're like, I got all my stuff, let's go. Here we are, okay? So that's prepared. What is it? From The Incredible, she says, luck favors the prepared, darling, right? So we've got to be ready. Now, let me be also clear that there will be speed bumps, okay? And there's going to be naysayers. There's going to be people who are like, are you sure that's really what you want to do? So some of you know I retired from being a director with Mary Kay at the end of March. I have been a director in Mary Kay for 25 years, and I was like, it's time for me to do this more, and to be able to put all of my energies into, are you sure you want to give that out? Are you sure that's what you want to do? Yes, I'm sure. And the reason that I'm sure is because I, just like you, I sat on this decision. This decision probably should have been made 3 years ago. I mean, in all honesty, I stayed out of loyalty to my job, to my people, to my customers, to my consultants, to my friends, my sisters, to my ego. I stayed longer than I should have. I know that I did. I was afraid. I wasn't ready. However, we don't woulda, shoulda, coulda, right? Because that's just negative. And when I look at it now, I know that I did it at exactly the right time. I could have done it earlier. Was I ready? Maybe not. I know I did it at exactly the right time. Okay? So we don't look backwards and say, well, God, if I'd have done it. No. That is a waste of energy, because all of that is negative. It goes, is non-productive energy, right? It's like running in place. What purpose does this serve? Unless you're like, that's part of your strategic workout with knees up. You're not getting anywhere. We don't should on ourselves, right? So allowing for the divine right timing, we've got to be ready. So when we did enter retire in March, I didn't have all the systems in place, but I had the foundations and the formations to know what the systems needed to be. So, because I also knew that in April I had all this travel coming up. So I came back from all the travel, and now I'm like, okay, these are the frameworks are ready. Let's get it sussed out. Let's get this work done. So the timing, everything happens in the right time that it's supposed to happen. Absolutely. Kimmy's right. So, okay. So this is what's going on right now. This is what's happening in the universe. This is the week. So, but here's the thing. You all have heard me say this 100 times, right? Energy does not turn on and off like a light switch, okay? So we're out of the shadow of Mercury retrograde. We've still got Pluto moving around out there. There's a bunch of planetary things going on. But this is the right time. Now, it's just because it's Monday doesn't mean stuff's going to start right this second today. It's not going to end on Friday, okay? The universe is not 8 to 5, Monday to Friday. That is not how this works. So you may have something that happened today, and you get off of here and you look at it and go, that just happened today. Isn't that interesting? Or you may have something that happens tomorrow. It may not happen until Thursday. Whatever it is, there may be 100 little things. There may be one giant thing. And there's no wrong answer, because everyone is different and everyone is on their path. And it can also be something that carries all the way through to the end of the month. Okay, the full moon is Thursday. So this is a time of transition. As we're coming up to the full moon, we take that look around, right? We've talked about this, like the full moon up periscope, looking around, seeing what's going on. What do we need to change? What do we need to adjust? What's shifting? Where do we need to make changes in our brain, changes in our goals, changes in whatever, so that we're prepared as we can do the work to reach the goal when we come back down to set our intentions for the new moon in the back half of the moon cycle. So this is not just limited to this week. So I don't want you to feel like if you're watching this a week from now, this is May 20th, if you're watching this a week from now, you did not miss it, okay? You're getting it in it because Kimmy said everything happens in the exact right time. So make sure that you are taking a look around to say, boy, this is really the time, what do I want to do? And gather up the materials that you need. Do you need to read this book? Do you need to sign up for this class? Do you need to reach out to that person? Do you need to get this project finished so you can get it off your desk? This is literally, those things is what I have been doing all day today, is finish this project, get it off my desk. Follow up with that person, get that thing done. Finish the project, finish the project, finish the project, finish the project, whatever it is, because then you're free. Now, there'll always be another project, right? Especially if you work for somebody else, there'll always be something else. But right now, this is the opportunity to be like, what do you want to do? So this is the time when you can feel like an octopus reaching out to the universe. What do I want? What do I want? What do I want? If you're ever, do you remember those things, those booths? They used to have them on game shows way back in the day. Where the people would go in the booth and it would be money flying around and the wind would start and the booth, and they'd have like 30 seconds in the booth to grab as much cash as they could grab. This is it, right? This is the time of the universe. The universe is like, want this? Yes. Want this? Yes. Okay, so grab all the things that you can possibly grab. Okay, it's all good. Okay. All right, so this is what I wanted to talk about. All right, so we're going to grab some cards. And I have been gone for so long. I'm so happy to be back. So it was a wonderful, amazing, fabulous trip. If you haven't scroll down on this page to see some of the pictures of the Northern Lights. What a blessing. Oh my goodness. Talk about being in the right place at the right time because we listened to the universe. So my husband and I were supposed to originally take this cruise to Alaska in 2020 for our 25th anniversary, but COVID. So we waited and waited, and then we were like, okay, well, let's go this summer. And we were going to go in August for our 28th anniversary. It was yesterday. So we were going to go in August. And then there was a scheduling change in his work that was going to conflict with the dates in August. And he said, well, let's look at a different date. And so we were like looking at all these different dates. And this one date, literally, and it's still kind of early in the season in Alaska, so it was really cold and there was a lot of snow. It was amazing. We got snowed on, which is for a Florida girl. It's always awesome. And we looked at the dates, and this date was like blinking on the calendar. Go now. Go. This is the date. And so it's closer to our anniversary. It turned out to be less expensive. We got a better cabin for less money. And we didn't know anything about the solar flares when we booked it. So we know the solar storms can happen, and then it takes some period of time for the lights to come to the earth and for us to have that geomagnetic interruptions. So we had no idea when we booked the cruise that there was going to be these solar storms. And so everyone on the ship was talking about it because everyone saw we were in Juneau, and everyone saw the same news article that morning that said the Northern Lights were going to be visible, across most of the United States. I mean, people here in Florida saw it. And so here we are that night, and like half the cruise ship was up on the top deck, and the captain even made an announcement for those of you who want to see the Northern Lights, it's starting now. And so we were already up on the deck, freezing, and we go outside and we look, and nothing. We come back inside, and we go outside and look. And so some of the pictures that I had posted on, if you scroll down a little bit, you can see the ones that were taken on the top deck of the ship with me going like this, right, with my camera, because those are the ones that look like this, the ones that look like the bloom, because the lights come from the North Pole. You can see the bloom, and the other ones, the slanty ones, are the ones we took from our balcony. But it was just amazing to see. Now, I do want to say, when you see them with your naked eye, they don't look so bright as they look in the pictures. So I had never seen them before. I didn't really know what to expect. I'd only ever seen them in pictures. So when you see them with your naked eye, the colors are beautiful and muted and pastel-y, pinks and purples and blues and the greens, and they're just beautiful. But when you take the picture with the camera is so much more sensitive and can pick up so many more of the beautiful colors. It's absolutely just incredible. So I tried to make sure to post some pictures that were the regular camera lens, which would be more like what your naked eye sees, and then the ones that were the longer exposure where the camera could see the brilliant colors, because just really incredible stuff. All right, so our card, our animal spirit, I really felt like I wanted to start with an animal spirit today. So, you know, we love Stephen Farmer and his animal spirits deck. And so this is the camel. Now, where are my glasses? This is the camel. It says, trust that you have the resources to get through the challenges before you. Now, I will say this card came in upside down. I don't know that this deck really does that, but so I'm not really going to worry about it. But trusting that we have the resources. This means that the things that we have been wanting, the things that we have been hoping for, the things that we have been moving towards, the things that we have been trying to call into our lives, we are ready to welcome them. This is what this means. The camel takes everything with it, like the turtle, has all that it needs. It puts water in the hump. This is what camels are storing in their hump. It's the fat storage and fluids, liquid water, so that they don't die in the desert, right? So the camel tells us that we have everything that we need already inside of us. We have everything we need already with us. This means that whatever it is that you are planning to do, you are equipped to be that person to receive these blessings. So if self-worth or esteem and how you think about yourself is part of this, please do what you can to push this to the side, because card is telling you you have everything that you need already with you inside of you to do what you need to do. You are equipped. You are enough. 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 I can say it 1,000,000 times. You are enough. Okay, let's say that. All right. So I'm going to grab onto the Woto deck, the Wisdom of the Oracle deck. Colette Beard reads Wisdom of the Oracle deck. We love this deck. I like working with this deck, even though my favorite deck I think is Rebecca Campbell's Work Your Light Oracle. I love this Wisdom of the Oracle deck because I think so many people have it. It's one of the reasons I like this deck is I think so many people have it. So it makes it really easy to work with publicly like this because people can follow along. It's something they maybe are more familiar with. And I love this. It's one of the decks that Colette uses for her teaching. And when I first was showing this deck, I was like, I don't know. And I have absolutely fallen in love with this deck. So, and I love, the Oracle cards, of course, because they're just so easy to, to understand, especially versus tarot cards. So we're going to pull three cards. So what is it that we need to know about what's going on in the universe right now? Like, what for our highest and best good? What do we need to know right now? And this is coming in upside down. This is the Fates. And the Fates remind us that we're not alone. The Fates remind us to trust in the universe. I mean, hello, what are we just talking about? So the Fates remind us to trust in the universe. But it also yeah, so the Fates remind us that to trust in the universe. But when things come in upside down, they're reminding us that we are that there's things that we can change and things that we cannot change. So we want to accept the things that we can't change, and we want to be able to move beyond that. Now, if there's something that we can't change, then we let it go. Okay, this is the big part of it. So when something is in front of us that we can't change, that doesn't mean that we're not reaching our goal. It means we may need to find a workaround, right? Or that whatever that thing is, not to worry about it because we're going to go in this direction. One of the other questions that was asked of me for this magazine article was if I felt like it was better for people to focus on their strengths or their weaknesses. Like, is it better to stay in your strengths, or is it better to focus on your weaknesses to make them not strengths? And my experience with this after 28 years with Mary Kay is it is so much better to focus on your strengths. You could focus on your weaknesses and you could try to make them better, but if these are things that are just not in your makeup, or they're just not things that you're not inherently good at, you could work really hard and you could probably get proficient, but you may not ever be as good as the things that you're inherently good at. So why would you spend your time frustrating yourself and berating yourself and trying to beat yourself up to force yourself to be something you're not, instead of focusing on where your strengths are and doing what brings you joy and gratitude and happiness, and that is going to lift you, because by doing that, you're going to get stronger in other areas anyway, and that is going to make you more proficient in the places where you maybe are a little weaker. So if you focus on your strengths and you focus on what you're good at and focus on what brings you joy and gratitude, the other stuff is going to get more proficient anyway, without having to focus on it which can bring negativity and not enoughness. Okay, so we talk about trusting that, not worrying about the things we can't change with the upside down fates cards. Well, if we're not going to worry about it, if we can't change it, then we're not going to worry about it. Then we're going to focus in on our strengths and the things that we can change and the things that we can make better. We're going to focus on our strengths, and we're going to trust that the other stuff's going to get worked out by the universe by itself. Because after all, the fates are telling you, okay, this is the fates. All right, the next card is, well, what else do we need to know about that situation, about this situation? Is poised. And this is, we are on the verge of the breakthrough, right? We are ready. We are 100% ready. We are on the verge of the breakthrough. We are ready to go. And this reminds us to just trust the fates, right? Trust the fates. Take the leap of faith. We are ready. Bring it on. Be confident and be willing to shine. Be willing to shine. Be willing to shine your light. Don't worry about shining your light for somebody else. Shine your light for you. Others will benefit. And this is, again, focusing on what is your strengths. What is going to lift your tide? Rising tides lift all the boats. So what is going to lift your tide? What is going to lift your boat? Because your light's going to shine for others and on others regardless, okay? And then where's the caution? What do we need to be aware of? What do we need to look out for? And this is co-create. And so this is reminding us, because it comes in upside down, co-create reminds us we don't have to do it alone. It's reminding us not to be stubborn. It's reminding us that we can, that when we are working in tandem, when we're working in harmony with the universe, we are much better equipped to co-create. So co-create coming in upside down reminds us we don't have to do it alone, to share the goals with others, to allow others to help. If somebody offers a suggestion, you don't necessarily have to take it, but it's always worth it to listen, because you may listen to that suggestion and go, yeah, this doesn't really fit for me, but another thought will spark in your head. I can't tell you how many times that's happened. I'm like, yeah, that doesn't feel like a fit for me, but oh, wait a minute, something else is coming in on the heels of that. Because I opened myself to listen to this, they were able to put in some other idea that was really super helpful. So we are, with the camel, we have everything that we need with us, okay? The fates are reminding us that we don't have to worry about the stuff that we can't change. We don't have to worry about, the weaknesses, the places where we're not strong. Focus on where we're strong, because we have everything that we need is already with us. So focus on the places that we're already strong, and the rising tide will lift all the boats. Trust them. We are 100% ready. Go with confidence. Be brave. Be brave. This is the time to be brave. And in the upside down, co-create. Remember, you don't have to do it alone. You are never alone. You are never alone. We are never alone. I mean, if we really knew how many energies and loved ones and guides and spirits were around us at any given time, we would never get in the shower. No, they're not looking at us in the shower. But we are never, ever alone. All right, so I'm going to leave you with that, my friends. I want to say thank you for watching. Thank you for participating. I am so glorious to be, so excited to be back home. And next Monday is Memorial Day, but because we've been away for so many Mondays, I think we'll plan on it. If that something changes, I will let you know. But I, for the moment, am planning on being here on Monday, and I look forward to seeing you all on Thursday as well. We're getting new windows on Thursday, so we'll see. They should hopefully be done by then. At least we'll see. If not, behind me will look very different. So have a wonderful rest of your day. Have a wonderful rest of your week. And always, always remember how very much you are loved. Mwah. Bye.